What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are talking about Unizen. Unizen today, I believe. ZCX. Z as in Zach, C as in cockadoodle-doo, and X as in X.com for Elon Musk. Alright, so looking at this thing, this is the chart I pulled up. I pulled it up on KuCoin. There might be one with more data. I don't know. I don't want to do the wrapped ones. I want to give this in the dollars. So let's just see. I guess Gate.io maybe. This one's Unizen. Unizen. I guess they're both, yeah, Unizen. Unizen. This one comes to us at the request of Danny Boy, Mr. Daniel Cosmella. We are looking at this one today for you, my man. So, if anybody has a request on a coin that you've never heard anybody else talk about, and I'm sure there's other YouTubers who have talked about this, but like maybe it's not mainly talked about, but you want some attention on it, throw a comment down. I will give it the attention that you desire. If it's not chartable, if it's not something that I can do for TA, then I won't be able to do it. But other than that, I don't care what it is, man. I'll chart it and I'll give you my honest opinion onto what it looks like. That doesn't mean that that's my honest that doesn't mean that that's the future. That doesn't mean that that's going to be an accurate prediction, right? None of this is guaranteed to happen, but I will give it my best shot. So looking at it on the monthly, there's not a whole lot to go off of, right? Without any further ado, into this thing. This might not have been the origins of it. Let's actually look and see on CoinGecko here. Let's go to ZCX, right? That's it. If it would, sometimes I have to refresh this thing. It just likes to lag if I have it pulled up for a while. ZCX, there we go, Unizen. 483, and wouldn't you know it is still lagging a little bit. Isn't that great? Let's refresh it one more time. You know what? I'm gonna delete it. Wow. Okay. It's taking some time, guys. I'm sorry. Let me see here. CoinGecko.com. I don't know why it has these issues, man. ZCX, not ZCN. ZCX. Number 483. With a market cap of 36 million, that is a low cap for sure. Could have figured that being at such a low rank. Circulating supply is about half. It's a little over half. I'd say closer to 60% actually of what the total max supply will be. And that is the max supply, so it doesn't have an infinite supply, which is all right. Some people like it to be infinite, some people don't. Fully diluted for infinity. I don't know. Fully diluted valuation would put it basically twice as high as its current market cap. So be aware of that. I don't know how this thing is being distributed. Whether there's some tokens that are locked up for the original devs, and maybe it'll be 5 years out that they're dropped. Maybe it gets released incrementally. I have no idea. But if this thing was fully diluted, it would be worth about twice what it is now. So that's not necessarily encouraging, but that's not condemning, man. I've seen plenty of coins that are just like this that are POSs, and then I've seen plenty of coins that are just like this that are legitimate and they do great. Is this going to be one of them? We're going to find out. $36 million, even at $61 million, that still is a very low cap to have on a monthly basis here. I'm not going to measure from this over here because this is kind of like nothing. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to see on KuCoin real quick, or on CoinGecko. So this thing came about in April of 2021, and this chart only goes back to June. So this is missing a couple months of price data. And I guess technically, let's see, if we were to find the low, was that like $1.25 before? Maybe I could draw a fib over here. I don't know. I'm not going to do that though. I'm going to go from the top to the bottom here, all-time high to the current all-time lows. At least to my knowledge, that's the all-time lows. And right now, you had a nice bounce off of this area all the way up to the 382, found rejection, came back down to the 0.069. Now you're finding resistance on the 236. That's not encouraging. I would think, just looking at this thing overall, that it does want to go lower. Maybe it wants to form a double bottom. Maybe it wants to form a slightly lower low. Something like that. Who knows? We're gonna dissect this thing and look a little bit more into it. So let's see here. On the monthly RSI, there's not a whole lot going on, right? It's just a flat line, kind of neutral, but to the bearish side. You are hovering above the bearish control zone, which I guess is good. But on the monthly, man, I feel like things are a little different for the monthly RSI than the conventional ones. So let's look into the weekly. Weekly RSI does look weak. Does look like the bears are in control. You get up to this 50 area and you've rejected it a couple times. You actually just rejected the 42 area. Anytime you're getting above this bearish control zone, it's not long-lived, and you're definitely hovering around it. I do think on a weekly basis, this looks like it wants to go back to the oversold zone, somewhere in there, and that would imply that the price goes lower for sure. How much lower? How much lower? I don't know. You can see more on the weekly, you know, this resistance we had on the 236, kind of resistance at the 382. There's, in fact, this kind of thing is generally bearish. Whenever you see the price go up to the 382 like this and it barely reaches it, it can't actually quite reach it, it can't touch it, it's because there's so much selling pressure. Yeah, people wanted to get out of this thing. And you can see actually that most of the volume didn't happen on this big candle. It happened on the one that was near the 382. I would bet a lot of people, man, let's go back and just look on the daily. There's probably a lot of people that offloaded during that week. Okay, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. Starting here, yeah, man, look, so all this volume, right? You've got all this volume here, but the most of it came in after you topped, right? It came in and they came in down here. I would say this was a selling opportunity for whoever was holding these bags for however long. That was a selling opportunity right there. Maybe some people bought here and they took profits too, but definitely a selling opportunity. It looks kind of like you're in an accumulation phase, kind of. You know, I know I've sounded kind of bearish on this thing, but that's just because I think it's going to go down in the immediate term. It could go up, and it probably likely will with a bunch of other cryptos, you know. But let's just see here. Again, I do think that the next move in the immediate term would be to the downside. You probably do break this 5.4 cent level. You probably make your way back down to the 100, and at that rate, I would expect that you do see some continuation. I wouldn't expect a double bottom right now, though it could happen. It really could happen. Something to watch for. I'm going to get rid of this overall fib because we kind of know what we're looking at with that. Looking at this, you can see, right, from low to high here, you found a little bit of support on the 382, actually went down to the 0.5, found support, rejected the 236 there. Then you went below the 618 on the first pass. That's not an encouraging signal, man. You actually found resistance here. What's not common is that you actually, even though you broke below it on the first pass, you found resistance on it. You actually came back up, tested resistance on the 382, tested resistance at the 236, further resistance at the 382, and now you've got a couple drives of resistance on the 618. I do think this wants to see extensions to the downside. And the minimum extension that I would expect, just from looking at this one, would be, you know, probably from here, a 63% drop. This is a low cap coin, guys. This is a very low cap coin. It's worth 36 million in market cap right now. Big moves like this can happen in an instant and then comes back up in that same instant, you know. So don't be worried about this thing. That doesn't mean that it's going to zero and it's never going to move again. It could mean that, but it's, you know, it's too young really to know. And furthermore, if we were to go down there, you know, I would look for some kind of bearish or a bullish divergence to form in the RSI potentially. Not off of this, but like off of the lows down here. So we'll have our first drive probably down here, maybe come up, have a higher low, or again, first drive down here, come up above the oversold zone, have like some kind of bullish divergence. It might not go this low. I just my mouse slipped, so it kind of just kept going down. That's not how low I meant to draw it, but. General principle, whatever. So looking at the price again, guys, I would expect that you will see at least 2.22 cents in the coming weeks, months, something like that. You know, we are in the bull market technically, but generally the beginning of the bull market for Bitcoin does not mean the end of the bear market for altcoins. That actually hasn't been the case every time. So just be aware of that. We can go lower on altcoins, especially. You definitely can go lower. And what you have is kind of this flattening base here with a descending formation. It looks like a descending triangle of sorts. It definitely looks bearish in its price action. You know, you can see it better like this, right, without all the lines. But just the way that it's interacting with the 618 and how it's stair-stepping its way down, I very much would expect that you will see something in between this area here. You might even go lower. It's possible to go lower, but I would say in the square, not the circle, is more likely where you'll go. I would look first to this 2.22 cents. If this thing is to be bullish and have a nice bounce, I would look for that 1272. That, you know, battling this 618 kind of a bunch of times like this and not just moving straight down, I would think that you hold the 1272. I would think that. Maybe you see the 1618, which is a whole nother 50% down from there. But, you know, from here, that would be the difference of a 64% move to an 81% move. That is a big difference. So either of these areas and in between are definitely at play here, definitely possible. Let's look at the daily. Going on to the daily. Looking at the daily RSI, yeah, man, it looks bad. It does look bad. The way it's interacting with this 123 MA, rejected, rejected, rejected. So it does respect this line to some degree here. You can see it definitely does. You are very likely below the 50 on the long-term RSI. Yes, you are. Let's see how this bad boy looks. Actually, I know it looks like a straight line, but you got to really zoom in. Like, look at from here. It looks like there's so much space, but really this is from 45.21 all the way up to 46.78. That's 1.5 pips of a difference, and you got all this kind of action, man. The long-term RSI, small moves are big moves, if that makes sense. So looking at this thing, yeah, you double topped here. You've got this ascending formation. I bet it looks like it wants to roll over. It really does. So that's not encouraging. Yeah. And you've got, beyond that, you've got this high here, which is higher than this high, but you had hidden bearish divergence. You're still actually, let's see, you're not forming hidden bearish divergence, I guess, right now. Oh, kind of. Yes, actually, you kind of are. On the long-term RSI. So I definitely think, just with the way that this is, where this is positioned, and for what it is on the 123 MA, I would think that you want to go down based on that. Looking at the short-term RSI itself, anytime that, I mean, it's kind of neutral, right? You're up above the 50, you're down below the 50. You're up above the 50, you're down below. Up above, down below. Up, and now you're getting some wigwag stuff. Now you're like truly neutral, not choosing a way one way or another, but you're getting lower highs and lower lows in the RSI. I think with this flattening base and everything, you're getting ready for a big move, but to the downside. It's going to be, not these little candles you've seen. You're going to get bigger candles like this, or like this more probably. Like, you're going to drop 20+% in a day coming soon, man. Probably very soon. So if I was trying to buy this thing, if I was looking into it for the long term, I would not be buying now. If I was looking into for the short term, it might be a good time to buy. I don't know, man. You've already bounced up like once, twice, 3 times, and you've rejected it each time. I doubt that you're going to get another move up, but maybe you move up to 7 cents or 7.5 cents. But from 6.1 cents, that's not worth it to me to get in, especially with the potential drop looming. So I would side on the air of caution. I would err on the side of caution with this thing. I could be wrong, but the RSI so far on the daily, weekly, and monthly is not impressive. It actually just looks worse as we're getting down into it. And to be fair, the daily is somewhat neutral, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't personally look at this like you're in this overall kind of like slant downwards. You've got the same kind of thing over here. You got a base, right? I would bet that the next time you interact, or at some point when you interact with this oversold zone, you're gonna break down into it, and you'll probably get a deeper move like this over here. That's my genuine expectation at the moment. Now let's talk about some good things. Let's talk about the potential upside. Okay, so if this thing bottoms, let's say it has a double bottom, right? And I don't think it will, but it has a chance to. It does have a chance to. So let's say it double bottoms. So we go from top to bottom here. If it does, again, double bottom around this area down over here, the areas that you would look for in the upside, the immediate term would be 28 cents, and then 97.5 cents, and then ultimately, if you can get above that, this is a low enough cap coin to where these extensions are totally at play, right? You're at 36 million right now. If you were to 100x, that would put you at 3.6 billion, and that's from the current price. Okay, so 3.6 billion. A 100x, man, a 100x would put you basically back to your all-time highs. That's a little bit under your all-time highs, actually. So somewhere around there, around like $6.16. And that would be at $3.6 billion. That's a high market cap. It's a high market cap. And in fact, going from number 484 to that high of a market cap, it's not unheard of. It's just not common, right? You're choosing a needle in the haystack. It's a very big haystack. Could this be one of them that reaches a multi-billion-dollar market cap? It's totally possible. It could. I've seen it happen plenty of times. I don't know enough about this thing. I don't know anything about the fundamentals, but I'm sure it's like, I don't know anything, so I'm just guessing here, but it's probably like a decentralized payment system that is supposed to allow peer-to-peer transactions with people, allow cross-border transactions, the same kind of stuff that every single crypto is going for. Maybe not. Let's actually look into it. I don't normally do this, but I feel like I'm at the end of my Unizen. No, it's not that. It's Unizen. So let's actually look into it here. Unizen Web3 operating system. Okay, it's an operating system for Web3 applications, enables users to seamlessly, cost-effectively, and securely interact with all things Web3. Sounds like a lot of the new coins from the last cycle. You know, it doesn't. To me, it doesn't sound like anything special. It might be, but let's just see documentations. Let's see. Cutting edge operating system. They're using the nice words. It's designed to provide unified user experience for interacting with various Web3 applications and assets, regardless of underlying blockchain technology. So it's like what? It's going to be like a bridge for blockchains or something like that, which isn't unique at all. What would be unique is if this thing makes strides into like partnering and like actually having use case and stuff like that. Approach. I don't really know. Unizen staking. Okay, so maybe that's why you have all this Unizen locked up right now in your total supply. It's something that the community can earn some money through if they're staking and mining probably too. I wonder if you mine this thing. I wonder if they allow mining, or maybe it's only staking. I don't know. I would think you mine it, but maybe not. Maybe it's passed out through stakes. I don't know. I'm not going to look too much into it, because I don't want to just like spend my time reading and talking about it on here. But if this was to be legitimate, if this was to be a more legitimate product and it got traction, it was to get popular, it doesn't have to stop here. It could definitely go to the 1272, right? That would put it at I think less than $20 billion market cap still. And then all the way over here, that the 1618 is possible as well. It's at a low enough cap where that could happen. And that is wow. Yeah, that would be a 2,927x. Yeah, that's crazy. That'd be crazy. I doubt that happens. I very much do doubt that happens. What I would look for more in the immediate term, and I wonder, let's go back. I want to look just real quick to kind of get an idea here. So this is the max price, right? And the price back here was 687. Okay, let's look at the market cap though. Market cap was 300 million. Okay, so if this thing was to go to $6.87 right now, or I guess it was over here. Let's put it at 687. It goes off a closing basis. That's why. So something like that. That would be a 100x. Okay, so that would be over a 100x. So that would put it at 3.6 billion, right? 3.6 billion. Where over here, it was only at that same price. It was at 300 million. So basically, 300 million. Keep it in mind, right? 300 million. If this thing was to go back to that same price, it would achieve a market cap that is 10x what it was when it was previously back here. I don't like seeing things like that, man. I really don't. This is something that if I was to be involved with it, I'd want to be a developer. I would want to be a staker. I'd want to be someone that's involved with the community. As far as speculators go, buying it, sure, you might 100x your money. You could. But more likely, what you're going to do, stuff like this, you're going to just form lower highs and lower lows, and it's going to seem like it's doing bad. But overall, the market cap can still be gained. Again, if it goes back to that same price, this would be a 10x gain on this current top. So, personally, sad to say, it might be good. It might have a use case. It might be valuable. But that doesn't mean as a speculator, as a trader, as an investor, that it's going to have value. I do doubt, looking at it now, I actually do doubt that you break this all-time high. I'm actually kind of in disbelief. I would think that you likely do achieve a market cap higher than this, but to achieve a market cap higher than that now at 300 million, you'd only need to 10x, okay? You wouldn't need to 100x. So to 10x from here, that'd basically be right there. You wouldn't even need to hit the 618, and you would have a tremendously higher market cap than you did here. I'm telling you, just from my opinion, unless this thing gets some insane attention and traction, this is going to be like a in-the-know kind of, if you're in the community, in the club, coin where you make money. If you're participating in the ecosystem, you can make money. But from a speculative standpoint, from a buying and selling standpoint, I don't like it. This actually doing that math right there set it in stone for me. And beyond all that, the price action looks bearish to me right now. Maybe it goes a little bit lower. I doubt it goes too much dramatically lower than this. I say too much dramatically lower, but 2.22 cents from 3.75 cents is pretty dramatic. I would expect that you do see prices go to the 1272, if not to the 1618 from here. I would expect that. So overall, I don't know anything about the project. I'm not trying to dog on the project. They probably got a good team with good people who mean well, who are doing their best, blah, 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 and it probably has a bright future in that respect. But as far as price action goes, I am not excited for this thing. In fact, as time goes on, this was only in October of 2021. And here we are, not even a year later. If we were to get back to that same price, that's a 10x in its market cap just to get back at the same price. I hate stuff like that, man. I really do. And I hate it because I'm a speculator. If I was a person who is an ecosystem participant, maybe I'd like that kind of stuff more. And maybe there's some of you out there who do enjoy doing that kind of stuff. I'm sure you can make money that way. I have no doubt. But the only incentive to this thing, in my opinion, is to join the ecosystem, get your rewards, and then sell it. That's probably it. And that's why ultimately I believe this thing is just going to be a lower high, lower low thing for probably its entire existence, honestly. So. I gave it a little hope maybe in the beginning when I was talking about these fibs up here overall, but I very much do doubt that you do see higher highs than this. I doubt that. I really do doubt that. And if you do see higher highs, I doubt that you'll see the 1272. So that's my genuine opinion. I'm not going to just keep railing on this thing. That's what I have. I could be wrong. It could end up going higher than this inevitably. But I think this is one of the few coins that isn't going to see its all-time highs again. And I think that's just how it's designed, man. It's meant for the people who are participating in the ecosystem, not for the speculators, not for the investors. And that's okay. There's nothing that doesn't mean that it's an illegitimate project. That doesn't speak any badly to the developing team or anything like that. It's just for me, as a speculator, as an investor, that's not the kind of stuff I like to get into. So I bet it has its time. I bet it has its magnificent little pumps, right? Just like it did back here. I bet it does. But any pump that you see like this, anything that's like this, but to the reverse effect, like to the upside, right? I would say is a selling type of event. So that's my 2 cents. If you like the video, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to see more. I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good day. Bye-bye.